and pay later. You get the sudden expense them when he meet you. No say so. And free money there for you with ABOP loan. Whether not for school fees, hospital bill, transportation, or for buy that quick top up. You can trust instant cash anytime with free money. Dial *161 *5 *3# now. If fast and reliable. ABOP loan. Take them now and pay later. Waiting you be the fan, don't finally come. We don't bring come, we AfriCell loyalty program where they make you get loyalty points with every top up what you do with AfriCell.
The more you top up, the more points you go get, where you can now exchange for minutes, data, phones, discounts, and even cashback.
In on top though, you can also gain points with every transaction what you do with Afri money. Any top up what you do with AfriCell, they count.
Dial *4232# for join the loyalty program for free and start for get you points now. The more you connect, the more you collect now the loyalty program from AfriCell.
AfriCell, now we network.
Not to know they pressure me. Not to know they pressure me. Yeah.
It don't take when you look for SAI, where you get the best skill on IT, telecommunication, computing, cyber security, database, programming, website design, and plenty other one them. Well, you all are done. KNS College, where the 18 Donda Street, Nariansa. Elect you was result, not complete. You know able to enter university, come na KNS College. Go there now and register. All them program them, they in line with international industry standard. When you done na KNS, now work go fen you. You know the fen work and get different program like telecommunication, project management, entrepreneurship and small business, and computing, IT with business management and networking. For any course where you do there, you don't get international certificates. KNS College, fully accredited by Tertiary Education Commission and National Council for Technical and Vocational Award. Then they 18 Donda Street. If you're able to reach there, call on the telephone number 079 442 442 or 075 442 442, or you visit their websites www.kns.edu.sl. Apply now because better space no dey. KNS College, skill for today, career for tomorrow. KNS 18 Donda Street, Lukmina Road, Alana IT this week.
Not to know they pressure me.
No, this one is a special dedication to all the people of this nation. Real. All the lovers of radio democracy. All the lovers of radio land. The voice of the masses. Hear this. Come on. Come down, selector. Come down, selector. 98.1. The voice of the people. Radio democracy. Radio democracy. Radio democracy. For news, views, and entertainment. Radio democracy. Radio democracy. Radio democracy. For news, views, and entertainment. The true voice of the people. Radio D, to you there's no equal.
Second to none. Radio D, you're still number one.
You are the voice of the voiceless. You are the choice of the voiceless.
Real.
Sure. Yeah.
Check it out. Check it.
You did teach and preach, but good governance.
Real.
You want to see we country advance. You not get party, stand for democracy. You give everybody a
right. The Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. It's exactly 7:30 for almost 2 o'clock. Stitching as we bring come to you in News and Current Affairs program. Good morning, Salon. Stitching to 98.1 FM for the very best in radio listen.
morning, Salon. Good morning, Freetown, and good morning to our listeners them with the listen we across the country and outside Sierra Leone. Live from New England Vale studio. This is now the first edition of the program Good Morning Salon for this week. We come to you live from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. Today on Monday, May 18, 2026. And we're glad for start this new week with Una. And we'll bring the program to you this Monday morning. My name is Usman Kamara.
Musa Kamara Naminim. Good morning. And we thought for today, now out of sight, out of mind. We mean say, you they forget person or something where you know they see. These are the main issues them we will look inside today's edition of the program Good Morning Saloon. According to the chairman for the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of States and Government for ECOWAS, Julius Maada Bio, if leader them now Africa work together and put the interests of African first, that go make the independence and develop. The Deputy Minister of Health, Professor Charles Senesi say the license we then go give to allied health professionals them now for make them begin regulate and hold them accountable for their work now the well body sector. And today inside the program, we also go talk to the Minister of Energy, Cyril Grant. We go talk about the light situation in the country. And we go also talk to one independent power producer, Rodney Michael. We go talk about what in governments for do for address the light challenge in the country.
Members say the list will live on www.radiodemocracy.sl.
Live from Radio Democracy 98.1 FM na Freetown, Radio Shalom 89.5 na Koinadugu and Falaba District, Radio Malen 88.5, Radio 1J 101.3 na Pujon District, Radio Kolente 90.0 na Cambia, Radio Mwa 105.5 na Kailau, Vopad Radio na Watalo, Voice of Sando on 95.7 na Kono District, Voice of Karine na Kamakwe on 98.0, Voice of Masoro na Pujon District, Advocacy Radio na Putloko District, Radio Katbami on 106.7 na Tonko Limba, Art FM on 95.9 na Moyamba District, and Tongo Radio on 107.5 FM.
The program Good Morning Salon, the continue. Members, you listen we live on www.radiodemocracy.sl. If you want to be part of the program, you can send in your message on the number 077981981 or send in your message on Radio Democracy Facebook page and YouTube page. Musa?
Yes, the program Good Morning Salon Day continue. We take we first issue for today. We go inside the ECOWAS resident representative to Salon, John Azuma say Salon and other West African country them go able for gather plenty couple through the tourism sector if beach and other tourist side them clean. He talked this during the ECOWAS Jubilee celebration with ECOWAS hold with Minister of Tourism, Freetown City Council and other body them under the team Plastic Free campaign. We said then go clean Aberdeen and Lumley Beach over the weekend. For more on this we join Chetno Jalo.
But 50 years ago, countries them in the West Africa region been come together and form the Economic Community of West Africa States with the mandate for promote development across member countries them. Between that time to now, ECOWAS, they celebrate 50 years jubilee, and as part of this then celebration, make across member states them the authority, they do different program them for push development go before. Now Salon, among plenty of the activity them where the authority don't do, one among them now the Plastic Free campaign, who said and say no to plastic pollution, clean environment, healthy future. One activity under this campaign now for clean the Lumley to Aberdeen Beach, who said over the weekend ECOWAS, the Ministry of Planning and Economic Development, the Ministry of Tourism and Cultural Affairs, the Freetown City Council, and other government body them, they meet at the Lumley Aberdeen Beach and decide for clean the entire beach. When they talk before the cleaning exercise starts, the ECOWAS resident representative na Salon, John Azuma say this cleaning exercise now one would then get funding from ECOWAS Directorate of Environment and Natural Resources. And the same also say this now part of ECOWAS plan for CC member country them able to get a couple from the tourist sites them now the country.
Make our environment clean, why we should protect our environment. to be able the potential of the resources that we have in the ecosystem. But we know that when we clean, we will have a healthy environment. You will have a healthy body, then you will enjoy life.
In San Yun talk, the mayor na the Freetown City Council, her worship Yvonne Akisoya, appreciate ECOWAS for this support and call on Salon people for able manage them dirty and tap for the to dirty na gutter. We go make it end up na the beach.
This dirty, when we collect at the beach, so now we put on there. Every day we regenerate dirty, no so. When you also produce dirty, outside that dirty they go. If you give it dirty to person where all rest bag, it gets your food, you don't get vehicle. All una search una heart. Una know say that person they go eat the dirty over the bridge. No so. Some man they give them dirty to Chris man. Say God show you that dirty. You know the ass, but Yusuf no say no to the right side. No dirty no dey at this beach. We don't come out na the host of Freetonians and people in Alunge.
When self the talk, the Minister of Tourism and Cultural Affairs, Nabila Tunis, say inside the past year them, Ministry of Tourism and Cultural Affairs don't they spend plenty resources and time for clean them beach so for sake this make himself join the mayor, now the Freetown City Council and serve the ECOWAS resident representative na Salon, John Azuma, for call on people for know how to manage them dirty them.
And what we've been trying to do is to create that awareness, that consciousness that we need to instill a practice of responsible disposal of waste. So I'm really, really happy today to see the ECOWAS come on board, to understand that this is an environmental issue and the magnitude is quite huge. The depth is phenomenal. We don't even know how to handle this. But again, if we all come together and repeatedly and consciously get our brothers and sisters to understand the effects of irresponsible disposal of waste, then I think we're halfway through the problem.
Now it's then statement here, the ECOWAS representative, the Minister of Planning and Economic Development, the Mayor, and the Freetown City Council, the Minister of Tourism and Cultural Affairs, been start the cleaning. And after some time, the military and plenty people will be there around, then jump on the cleaning exercise. For the Society for Radio Democracy, me, Nachang Nojalo, the report.
Good morning, Salon. They continue. They come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. And inside the edition of the program, Good Morning Salon, as we mentioned inside the program, Good Morning Salon, we talk to the Minister for Energy, Cyril Grant. We go give you updates on the energy situation, and also we talk to Rodin Michael. They work with EMCO Limited, we are energy suppliers, for discuss the way forward on the energy issues, and which I think the government will work for improve the light situation. As people within the follow national issues and people who live within the country, going to see this BNTM plenty challenge on the day for electricity. But apart from that, government don't they talk about plenty development projects them in the energy sector. Waiting at the latest on them, and beside the challenge they now we blackouts done plenty people they concerned about. For second that I want to welcome me studio guest them the Minister for Energy, Cyril Grant. Good morning and welcome to the program Good Morning Salon.
Good morning everybody.
First time hosting you since you be Minister of Energy.
Yes, I've been come I think in November last year, but there were some technical difficulties.
Yes, so we don't
and this has been the first place I've been come. But as you say, when I don't all things don't make now, and I'm glad you will come back again for can talk to now.
Okay.
And our listeners.
Okay. Thank you very much. We come to we are still guests. Good morning, Rodney Michael, and welcome to the program Good Morning Salon.
Good morning, Musa. Good morning to the panelists, and it's a privilege for me here with the Honorable Minister.
Plenty people go surprised for a Rodney Michael on energy because most times now football.
Well, I got into energy in 2019 when we supply power to the Bo and Kerim districts. And I get a keen interest there, and I start to learn a lot about it. And with the help of people in EDSA, EGTC, and the Ministry of Energy, including Mr. Cyril Grant and others, I've been able to learn a lot more than I've anticipated. And since then, I've been involved, and we're trying to get something going that is much bigger than what I did in 2019 now.
Will come to you, Rodney Michael, on the energy sector as it only the basis when Rodney Michael can energy and people not for surprise when they read you on energy because most times what they get in at the student football. I come to the Minister for Energy, Cyril Grant, and the 11 days Bumbuna maintenance they start today. Make we start from there for general update how this maintenance they work and would they stand for be affected before we can look at policies and other projects them within the energy sector and the broader issues.
Right. Thank you very much. Yes, the Bumbuna maintenance regime they start today, and we don't issue a press release last week. And the original press release where Allman received say Bumbuna go day down for 11 days. I want to make something clear because now the maintenance of Bumbuna they happen every year. Since 2011, where Bumbuna come online, where Bumbuna begins send electricity to all parts of Sierra Leone, especially the western area. Every year, because of the way we then construct the dam, we they do a 10 days, 11 days, about 2 weeks of maintenance. The reason why we do that day is at that time, every May, the water within the dam can done. It can go down very much from the height of the rain season in August. So by the time you don't reach then April, then May, then 10 day. If you go looking at the reservoir now, you go see the mark outside the water level they go down. And then get waiting and call the minimum operating level for the water. And by the calculation, about 2 weeks ago, then calculate say by today, 7 o'clock, we're going to reach that level there. Beyond that level, the dam not going to work again. And you know, say that the way with that dam they work, that follow water go through the turbine, the machine. That water they send the power now can free on. Where the water done, it don't lessen. You know they will do it again. So for the last over 14 years now, of since 2011, we the dam bill every year in May. We they make sure say we the water don't reach that level there, we they shut down the system. I want to make people know understand say over the last 3 weeks or 4 weeks, the amount of energy where they come up boom and can free tongue especially don't be about 2 megawatts. We're nothing. In the height of the rain season, that boom can produce at least 45 megawatt to reach free tongue. So from 45 megawatt we can get like then August, so September. It all reach now 2 megawatts and less than 2 megawatts. And we, as I say, the water don't reach level where we're not able to run the generator there again. So as usual, work with EGTC, then send engineer then go. And I'll get for talk about that a little bit because something happened where I'll get for explain. But this time every year, if you go 2025, 2024, 2023, 2011 we then open the dam. There is always a time in the middle of the year, May, especially May, either the first week in May or the third week in May, where we can actually shut down. But in fact, based upon the amount of energy where they come, they affect the distribution of power into the Freetown network because it's also low anyway.
Okay. Now, Mr. Minister, you don't give update about the term, what 11 days we wanna get for shut down Bumbuna as well for maintenance, and this don't happen every year. Yes. Which area then specific we get for affect?
The most areas where then they get for affect. Now, don't forget say the way they build the Bumbuna Dam, they get the 200-kilometer line, the 161 line where all man they see where they reach Freetown. Some of the power from Bumbuna they go Makeni, they go Maburha. But the majority of that power, they run to King Tom. Where King Tom now, and then they distribute to the Freetown network. So now the Freetown network will suffer. But as I explained, by this time of year, 3 weeks ago, the amount of power they come up boom be not lessened. Now that make by what we do in terms of the negotiation, where boom go down, power can up. And I want to make one correction because of the impact of the downtime on the networks. What we do, we talk to Salini, where they run this thing also for EGTC. We all meet with EGTC engineers and EDSA, and I tell them, say, listen, that 11 days, I think that they too long. And we don't negotiate with them now, so then we'll bring that downtime to 5 days, no more than 5 days. But unfortunately, what happened, I go therefore extend me good wishes to the engineers them EGTC on, I think it was Friday afternoon, because we tell them, say them for increase the number of people that will work on the machine in the, they mean send an additional 6 engineers go upline, go to the Bumbuna. But they ran into an accident, a gruesome accident. But we tell God thank you, say nobody no die. Although I say 2 people were injured very badly. So they wish them a good recovery. I extend this my good wishes to the people of EGTC, because these are the top engineers we involved in an accident today. But I know say the DG and the chairman of EGTC go make additional people available for go work on this machine, so that the Bumbuna downtime will be limited to only 5 days.
All right. As you say, you don't try for reduce to 5 days.
Yes.
Is it that with the maintenance they go on, people not forget access to light totally till
No.
the maintenance done?
No. So what we do, as I tell you, by the time the maintenance they be every year, the amount of power they get free tongue, less than 1 megawatt. 1 megawatt, will supply a place like Brookfield. It don't. Very little area, So what do they do every year? We can ask Kapower for count up. Kapower normally during the year they supply with 25 megawatts. We can and then by contractually, then can ace the amount to 45 megawatts. So almost double. Okay. So what we don't do now, we don't tell them say, because of this impact here. So Kapower for count up now to 60 megawatts. And that they don't do. Starting on Saturday night, Kapower come up to 60 megawatts, and we use the amount of power they for distribute to the transformer them where they serve the city.
So no need for panic.
No need for panic. This they happen every year. I think people they obviously what's not happen over the last 3-4 weeks. Lots of blackouts, right? So when the press release kind of do now. It looked just bad off.
So, now we look at what will be installed capacity after this maintenance.
Well, installed capacity. Okay, when you say install, you get.
I mean the capacity. It is 2%. It provide 2 megawatts now.
2 megawatts.
What's it going to produce now after the maintenance?
Okay, the maintenance not they increase the capacity. The only thing where they increase the capacity na God, because na rain, right? So after the maintenance, the reason why they do the maintenance is that we get for ready now for the rain season where the water, where the reservoir, the river, it is full up. We normally in situation where if all the water don't come out, then the machine broke down. So they get a sequence of maintenance regimen where they do. Then go inside the turbine, they look the turbine, they look the line. Also I get for grease, then grease. Also dirty don't full up inside the reservoir, inside the dam, then pull them for make sure say when the water come, because say where rain season come upline, where rain season begin come, then July, August, even June, it comes in huge volumes. So for make sure say we go ready for receive that volume of water there, for make sure say we know we'll get interruption of supply, and make them can go do maintenance now for the year. Till next year for let all things go clear.
Quick from that explanation before we come to Rodney Michael, he go give you updates na the energy sector total apart from Bumbuna.
Yes.
Just now you touch different side them. Waiting at the energy source for Salone as it stands and almost megawatts available in the system.
We get boku sources of energy right now. We get, of course, all manner of Kapower, and Kapower now they run at the peak, evening peak. We don't tell them say there is evening peak because now net all man need power to 60 megawatts. That's 60 megawatts there. In addition for ASAM, we don't say the 4 transformer then where they serve the Freetown network, let them energize all things so that a lot of people now go get power. And I sure say if people can let we know, most sign a Freetown starting around 7:30 in the evening yesterday till about midnight get power. There are going to be instances where not to also get power. But we don't tell them saying that that's what they do from now till the end of, for the next 3 weeks we do that day. For till rain begin come, and as I say, the reservoir begin full up, women are now begin in terms of the amount of power where they bring Freetown begin go to 6, 8, 10. The problem is not a problem, but the way the hydro dam they design is the river, the Rokel River. Once rain begin come, if they begin full up all the way up na the mountain them. And as the rain they bokuso and so the amount of water they come and it ace up the dam they prevent them. And at that day they give we energy for one.
All right. When we come back, you can tell we the other different source there and waiting government they pay presently to Kapawa. We presently you say don't go up to 60 megawatt.
Sure.
The program na Good Morning Salon where they come to you live from Radio Democracy 98.1 FM, and we'll bring the program to you this Monday morning. My name is Usman Kamara
and Musa Kamara na minim. We can't we other studio guest we na Rodin Michael from Emco Limited. We na energy suppliers. Once again, good morning, Rodney, and welcome to the program Good Morning Salon.
Good morning, and thanks again for having me.
It come from the Emco Limited, we na energy suppliers. For listeners, we they get the name for the first time. Whose role we can play na the energy mix or the energy supplier space?
We're not just the business side of things. We supply power. We receive. We use for the power supply. Like for example, car power is on a much bigger scale. It's that kind of thing we do. We use diesel generating plants. We supply power into smaller areas. And we agree on a tariff or rental. In my own case, it starts with a tariff, then later on developed to just a rental of the machines. So that's small scale. We belong to that sector, which for now, the government of Australia not use at this time. They rely on car power, CLSG, and Bumuna, forget all and then the Guinea supply network. So that's how this is the system the government is using currently. They're not use a small scale IPPs at this time.
Now, they need to use smaller IPPs. We are independent power producers. Earlier, when we start for talk, you say your energy journey starts 2019. But even as ordinary citizen, you find out say every dry season, the same issue they continue. Rain season, it will be a little bit better. From your own experience at the energy space, what's in the issue?
I think the minister has been very honest here. I mean, when you look at it, the problem is a 7-decade problem. We've never been focused on power production, building our own power plants in the country until recently. I could say this government is the first government in 7 decades to give priority to power generation. The NANT project, for example, the 30 megawatts at Newton, these are all locally developed power production we go supply. I understand, and the minister go guide. I think the 30 megawatts from Newton will be launched next week or so. So with that 30 megawatts, 108 megawatts from the NANT project, this is 138 megawatts of local production. Power plants locally, we're going for supply constantly with Bumbuna. And I agree with the minister. I mean, it's always the case for the last, since I ever remember, Bumbuna always has a problem during the dry. So we can always call Bumbuna as a rainy season power suppliers, because every dry season then they struggle for supply power. And this is where people need to understand that there is a lot of condemnation of car power. Car power is not supposed to be an everlasting power supplier. They're an emergency power ship where they come to the rescue, like the Honourable Minister explained. At the time of crisis, they talk to them, they don't increase from 45 megawatts to 60 megawatts, for example, at this time. Come the rains, I believe car power will reduce to 25 megawatts. The minister will correct me if I get anything mistaken here. So that's the good thing about car power. And car power is a kind of company, we're not a friend to Africa, because even when you owe them arrears, they rarely cut you down unless they go to extremes. Whether Sierra Leone, whether Ivory Coast, they're right across Africa. So they're a friend to Africa and the economy and the challenges we face. So the problem we have in Sierra Leone on the business side of things is that we not built enough power plants over the last 7 decades since independence for accommodate the kind of population increment we don't get. And the second problem is when we developed EGTC and EDSA, the idea was they will be able to collect enough revenue and sustain the bills. If we rely on government with limited resources for subsidize these bills and pay these bills, we're always going to have difficulties getting constant power supplies. And this is one, and I must confess, the Ministry of Finance has been doing exceptionally well under very challenging circumstances for the meet of their obligations. But what we need to do, and I'm sure the minister will confirm, and I know that there's been a lot of work on that, and they keep on trying to improve on that. And I hear that the World Bank and the government have been trying to privatize the sector of EDSA for revenue collection and other aspects of management. If we can get the collection aspect of things correct and reduce the shortages from technical, from agents, from different forms of loss, and EDSA the loss, because EDSA charges around 28 cents per kilowatt hour for energy. What they pay should be able to be, what they collect should be able to suffice to pay what they consume from these suppliers. But because of the loss in the network and the cost of operations, they are struggling. So power production has to be the way forward. And not only power production, but it has to be affordable and reliable.
All right.
So it's not just bringing power at any cost. It has to be power that we can afford without having to put the burden on government or the consumers.
All right. Mr. Michael, if you talk to other people, they will tell you, say, the problem they come out from EDSA. Some man can say they come out from the people. So man, the reason why they say they come out from EDSA now that the money we people pay for light, EDSA not able to control. If you look up till now, there is an issue between EDSA and NRA in terms of money. And if you ask another people, will tell you say now because people in the thief light. From your perspective, what side the problem there? Is it that not from EDSA or not from the people?
Well, the good thing is that everybody agrees there is a problem. The second good thing is that there has been a lot of effort by the Ministry of Energy for and on behalf of government for resolve the problems. And they themselves have admitted that part of EDSA needs reforms because of these problems. So I'm not going to say for the look at the blame game, but rather at the solution. And I believe that the Ministry of Energy and government, with the support of World Bank, don't do their very best for trying to find a solution to the problem. So if everybody is entitled to their opinion. So we'll tell you say that they want to thief electricity. So we'll say that then corporate houses are able for bypass within them for pay. So we'll say that the debt where the MDAs owe. So we'll say that mismanagement at EDSA. I like to find solutions, not to worry about the problems. We know there is a problem. And I believe the ministry and government are working on finding the solution to that particular problem, the revenue collection, the management of funds, the running of EDSA. I want to leave that purely in the hands of the minister and the government for address that issue. But what I'm happy about is that they're working towards the privatization of parts of EDSA, we will help resolve some of these problems.
So you believe, say, the privatization will solve the light problem?
As a businessman, I believe that when you have a private company assigned specifically and dedicatedly for control that aspect of things, they will do better than having it under the control of government. I don't believe that everything should be left in the hands of government control as a businessman. But of course, I look at the commercial part of things, not the policy making, not for appease the public, not for satisfy and reduce costs, just for I get votes in the ballot box. I look at the commercial side, the financial side of things as a businessman. The Honourable Minister will be more qualified for tell you how far they've gone with that and whether that's the way forward.
Now you speak about the issue of private sector involvement, but we will come back to you, Rodney Michael. We'll talk about policy and regulatory issues in the energy sector if we favor private sector at all. We still get the Minister for Energy, Cyril Grant, na the program Good Morning Salon. We'll come back to them with a look at energy projects them and the current energy situation in the country. The program Good Morning Salon, they continue. We'll go for this break. We'll continue.
Bloomberg Digital Banking don't come for we.
I said so. You look stressed so.
Nah, bank are the one go so.
Me sister, go digital.
Digital?
Yes, with Bloomberg Digital Banking. Just tap, click, swipe and send money, receive money, check your balance, pay your bills and get quick loans before Jacko cuts your eye.
But Abu left fly.
Well, bring your phone.
Now so easy and quick.
Yes, with Bloomberg Digital, you can bank with freedom anytime in the world. Your money is safe and secure. Also, you can do business and transfer money instantly by your currency across Africa. Quick one with Colats.
Wow! As from today, call me Aisha to Bloomberg Digital. I dey go tell all me party them for join Bloomberg Digital digital banking.
Go ahead and download our digital banking app from Google Play Store and Apple Store, or visit any of our branches for further details. For no more, you can visit our website, bloombankafrica.com. Bloombank Africa. Let's make it happen.
Cecil, do you know any sharp user I go able get quality laptop or desktop computer for buy? When I go give me wahala like the last one?
Aisha, you see this Dell computer na me hand? It don't pass 8 years from where I begin user. It don't one day give me problem. Na Palestino International in shop, na 5 and 6 Gloucester Street, na they are buyer. Not to copyright Palestino they sell, na original. You see this me plasma TV, this Samsung home theater, me standing fan and mobile phone. Every day when you see them, it's like a new one. They don't pass 8 years na me hand. Palestino don't open Palestino International Computer Shop na 3 Bojon Street Bow. Also you they get all kind computer for buy. For more, just call 076 56 5432 077805898. Palestino International in Computer Shop. All team day for you.
The program Good Morning Salon they continue. The program will take one of headlines to read them according to the chairman for the Authority of Head of State and Government for ECOWAS, Julius Maada Bio, say if leader them na Africa work together and put the interests of Africa, that will make them independent and develop. President Bio talk this way immediately in keynote address na the Oxford African Conference where they happen now in the United Kingdom with the theme Anchor in Africa, Grounded Leadership in the Age of Disruption. You know, Kabia get more in Gona report.
The Oxford African Conference na annual flagship program where the Oxford University Africa Society they all na the University of Oxford na the United Kingdom where they bring together global thinker them, policy maker, business people, innovator, scholar them and students them. Outside they talk about the opportunity then na Africa and self talk about the challenge them. And President Julius Maada Bio don lead Salon delegation together with the Minister of Finance, Sheku Fantamadi Bangura, and other government officials them for attend the Oxford African Conference as the keynote speaker for the second term with the theme Anchor in Africa, Grounded, Game-Changing Leadership in the Age of Disruption. President Julius Maada Bio before talk about what this conference mean for the second term as the keynote speaker.
Last year, standing at the same platform, I spoke about the African Agency. I spoke about our duty, collectively and individually, to move away from being defined by external narratives towards becoming the primary authors of our own story, the authentic African story. That argument, ladies and gentlemen, remains valid. And so this year, I want to press it further. Agency is necessary, but not sufficient. A people may recover their voice and still fail to secure their future. A continent may assert itself and still remain vulnerable.
The president became on for talk about in experience as ECOWAS chairman and self-president on how plaba and violence in say no good na Africa.
I stand before you today wearing 2 mantles as President of the Republic of Sierra Leone. And as President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, I speak from lived experience of a country that has been tested by war, epidemic, institutional fragility, economic strain, climate pressure, and which continues step by step to reform itself and to rebuild at the same time. As chairman of ECOWAS, Authority of Heads of State and Government, I speak from the vantage point of a region confronting some of the most complex political, security, economic challenges we have seen in recent decades. From both positions, the conclusion is the same. Africa's moment is not something we are waiting for. It is something we are already living. The question is whether we are prepared to sustain it and deepen it.
In same way, so say, for make peace stability and security dey na Africa. Africa leader dem say need forget African interest.
Africa will be anchored only if it does not compromise the quality of its leadership. I know this both as a regional proposition and as a national one. Let me bring this closer to experience. Sierra Leone understands disruption, not from the textbook, but from our lived reality. We have endured a conflict that tested the very fabric of our nation. We have faced epidemics that exposed the weaknesses in our system, but also revealed the strength of our communities. We have absorbed economic shocks that reminded us how vulnerable dependency can make us.
President Julius Maada Bio end up call on Africa leader them for work together as one for do thing them we go benefits people na them different region. For Radio Democracy, Yeno Kabia the reports.
In Salon, they continue still inside the studios. We get the Minister of Energy, we Cyril Arnold Grant. Mr. Grant, before we go for that break, they don't tell we the source presently how they get a light and also the updates about the 11 days blackout where you say you want to reduce to 5 days. The question I will ask now that when you start for work at the Ministry of Energy, because I understand so you don't go through the ranks, is it true?
Yes, I began work as a consultant at the Ministry of Energy in 2014. Meaning I'm the project manager for the Bumbuna 2 expansion. That project did not ever take off. And then that role, they kind of evolve into various responsibilities, working under various ministers over the years as advisor, as technical advisor in the ministry. So I done it from 2014 in different roles as well.
That shows you know the problem where it happen at the ministry and the energy sector as a whole. You don't be minister now at this moment. And the concern about people now that under your leadership, they black out more Boko than. You are aware of some of them?
Yes, I am aware of that. I mean, but I don't know if the blackout done Boko. I know that the number of the number of people we now they rely on EDSA don't increase substantially. In fact, over the last 3 months, we don't increase the number of meters at the system by I think 25,000 meters, and that's quite a bit because when you look at the system, we only have about 350,000 meters in the entire Sierra Leone. That 25,000 they will get for increase to about 40,000 before the end of June. Yes, the blackout done Boku, and part of the problem is that this year, for example, the amount of generation available lessened. We began a contract with Ivory Coast for Guinea a total of 27 megawatts. We also get a contract with Guinea, where Guinea they give you about 5 to 10 megawatts. But the Ivory Coast power will be rely on the 27 megawatts. They reduce them to 10 instances. And Guinea actually cut their own supply to we. And part of the reason is because of the inability of the system of EDSA and of the revenue for pay all the areas we would accumulate over the last 3 years for the most part. So there's a lot of areas in the system, and unfortunately the system is inefficient. There's a lot of theft in the system, boku thief in the system. We own Fambul and the thief, we own Neighbor and the thief light, and the balance meter, and that creates an issue where we know the pay people with the supply power. As Mr. Michael said, car power has been good to us because car power over the years don't give we moments where we not pay for months and months and months and months, but then still the supply power. So there's a good sides to this and there's bad sides to this, but the most part we don't get enough generation in the system at the moment, and we make do with what we get. We get power from car power, we get some solar power from Serengeti, and we get Planet Solar. Serengeti Day by Yamandu, They give you about 5 megawatts. We get Makut, not far from Makeni. We get 10 to 15 megawatts of power from they. We get some amount of power from CLSG. They don't cut we off 100%, but some amount of power still they come. So now they will get for manage wheat and make sure say people then get power on a rolling basis. So yes, it's been difficult, but we were trying to manage a system where there is not enough power, not for shape gi all man, because people they use power fiti fata, not to all man, but a lot of people then a lot of we neighbor then we not they pay at all.
You talk about areas, and look at the areas here. Almost government or EDSA own Guinea, Ivory Coast, and the Kapawa sheep.
I don't get the specific numbers, but I think with Guinea we're probably talking about $4 million. Ivory Coast in excess of $30 million. Kapawa sheep, depending right now, it must be about $30 to $40 million. So there are lots of areas in the system where the system get for payback, where government get for payback. So government has been in a big quandary, and then I make the Ministry of Finance. Now they can always bail out the inefficiencies of EDSA, and then they get for stop. And then I make His Excellency, they encourage we this position over there now for privatize EDSA, so that all of these things, the arrears, will be a thing of the past. We can make EDSA a much more efficient company. EDSA, when you look this year, so I can always talk that. When you go Shakastini Street, which now a main street in Freetown, by looking just at the structures on Shakastini Street, number one, just at a glance, the biggest building there on Shakastini Street is the electricity house. EDSA is one of the biggest businesses, should be one of the businesses, is actually one of the biggest businesses in Sierra Leone, based upon the amount of revenue and based upon the amount of money that goes through the system. But it is a basket that's leaking. Where you full with water, as you full and so you empty, full and so you empty. So you're not able to get enough water.
So this money would I get for pay? Now government or EDSA?
Government and the people of Sierra Leone get for pay. I mean, because EDSA eventually will pay, but because of the inefficiencies in the system over the few years, over the number of years, where we get for lock all inside anyway, water they escape. Government is in the hook. All of the social services we government get for pay, free education, making sure that we're covering all of these social issues, health, for example. We're not able to get money because we are putting so much money into energy. Yeah?
Now, when you talk about the energy mix, we say we get. I know you mentioned Kintom, and is it the Nigata machine, and also the one at Black Hole Road?
Yeah.
You know, make mention of them, and governments be don't start renovation of their machines also, or the maintenance of them. What are the latest on them? Are they working now, or they're still under maintenance?
They're working. In fact, about 2 weeks ago now, we begin use the Black Hole Road machine because obviously the issue was a lot of people in the east not they get power. We put Dandy on for supplement the car power. The only problem with that is it produce rolling basis about 7.5 megawatts. But that line day where they come out Black Hole Road, in order to reach any side. Now, we're linking area no more they reach. So, you know, when they give enough power. In fact, and that make we say now, let car power come up, we energize the transformers and make sure, say, all the people, as far as Waterloo, they get some of that power there now.
All right. Now, the law still there on the issue of the car power. Sometime back when President Bill take office, they may review the price of tariff of the car power ship. As of now, waiting at the price we the government of Saloon or we EDSA they buy to car power in terms of price.
I think it's about 22 cents, but it depends. Now, the problem we don't see over the last month or 2 months because of this Israeli-Iran war where they be, it affects the cost of oil. And the moment you affect the cost of oil, diesel they go up, and on SFC way diesel don't go up from 20-something leons now 40 leons now. So that exact thing that they happen to an IPP like car power. Every month where then send invoice to EDSA, they have what's called the fuel cost. The fuel cost is almost a pass-through, because then they buy fuel. We know this here because then they ship and come, and every month they fill the tank na the ship for provide we, and that then they buy on the world market. So in effect, the cost of the power is determined by the cost of fuel in the world market, and the moment it goes up, then a problem for we. So we don't see, say, over the last 2 months, 3 months, that they don't go up significantly. Then I make, in fact, if we say let car power count on to 65 megawatts, we bring it for calculate almost 60 megawatts. We get for calculate, say, then they go cost we a lot. But we citizens, them in the suffer. So we make that decision, they say, listen, yes, it's going to be a lot more expensive, but people are on there for 3 weeks, 4 weeks without power. Let we at least give them some hope, say, when Bumuna comes in, will come, but let we give them some hope now with the available power we'll get through car power.
All right, before we take break inside the program, almost car power in the supply before we ask them for letting increase until 60.
45 megawatts on average per day. Okay, the way the agreements go, car power they supply 25 megawatts in the wet season. We Bumbuna day. And the Bumbuna in the supply between about 50 megawatts of power. Say it can down. The moment Bumbuna go down, the car power by contract will give you 45 megawatts. Now from that 45 megawatts in the middle supply, but they're not inadequate for supply the one whole city. During the evening peak, for example, where all man the lights, they use lights, we need a minimum of about 75 to 80 megawatts of power during the evening peak. Then from 7 o'clock in the evening, 7 o'clock in the evening, till about 1 o'clock in the morning. So you can imagine, 2 or 3 days ago, I go to King Tom, and this has been true for a number of weeks. The only amount of power we get at the system, until not to Santem, na net. Now the 45 megawatts we power they supply. Another 45 megawatts they will get for SHIB to people that we suppose for use 80 megawatts. So that's not the issue. Santem we can get a reprieve. With Santem we get then solar plants where they supply between I think 10 and 25 megawatts. So we'll get some amount of additional power. But the moment Net Canal, now only car power, they supply the system. So where we look, we say, okay, listen, let car power come up for the 2-3 weeks. So a lot of people now at Net, because now Net's the issue there.
Right.
They're going to get some amount of power going forward.
All right. Part of the problem, government to government or government to mandate, now that people are within our government office system, not the pay light bill. Is it true?
I know what say people are waiting at office. I don't know what you mean. You mean ministries, yes.
Not agree for
no,
pay,
not to say they're not agree for pay. There are two sides to the coin. Some not they pay, and some EDSA get the obligation also for go demand payment, right? So it's a two-way street. So you go find instances where the people in the ministry or people in some banks, for example, we find out not being they pay.
Whose banks?
I don't remember the banks, but I think it was EcoBank. But not to say they're not payable, because the people then are heads away for go after the money, not go. Okay? So we found a number of instances, not banks, there was all the institutions where, in terms of EDSA's responsibility for go claim back, say, hey, or send the bill, say you don't owe it, they're not doing it. So we have to put fire under them and say, listen, when I get the time where we look through the invoices, we get like $30 million where people are getting arrears between government agencies and businesses in the system. So EDSA now created a pilot program where they hire a company for go around to all them businesses and demand power on demand. If you not pay, and then look, you build the out you, and then now you can come back to EDSA now for can make a payment plan going forward.
Mr. Grant,
yes.
I think a lot on EDSA, and we've been get the special envoy on trade and investments. We see also the person energy lead in our government. We now Honorable Dr. Kande Kloim Keller. He sits with a road need to see if governments not privatize EDSA, even governments invest millions of dollars in the energy sector. Not the work. I hope or men for understand so on that process. We'll come back to you. You will explain what's in the process of privatization and when we will see that be done. We still get Rodney Michael and the program will they come to after this break. But you self with the listening member say You can send your comment or concern on WhatsApp number 077-981-981 or text on the same number, or send message now with the Democracy Facebook page, or you go now with YouTube page as we stream across all these channels. You can drop a message there. We'll look at your concern. The program Good Morning Salon, they continue. We'll go for this break.
You bland taste ice cream and you not feel like an ice cream? No worry again, because Blue Moon ice cream don't come for you.
Blue Moon ice cream na salon that they make up, and you get different flavor them like chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, almond, bubble gum, plain yogurt, chocobar, ice pop, and different other flavor them.
You're available in all supermarkets, and we shop there in Sanders Street, Wellington Street, Wilkinson Road, and Waterloo. Self, we work man at the worker with the push cart they sell. Now salon the factory day when they make this ice cream here. So get better taste with Blue Moon ice cream. It's refreshing and they give you more satisfaction.
For more information, you can call we on 077-633-633. Blue Moon ice cream, the taste of happiness.
You dey look for side for keep you money and for make you business grow?
Well, now the term this so for keeping money with any community bank or financial services association, which then they call FSA, with the all side na salon, because then a good party with good condition, way easy for the ordinary man.
They go guide you find one, but how for manage your money for change your life and the people them and your community. Remember say when you keep your money in a bank, where they near you not just they keep money for bye, but you they help your community for go before.
So waiting you the wait, you be businessman or farmer, petit together, so you act person, teacher or anybody keep your money na any community bank or FSA where they near you and see how your life go better.
Salon, they continue to come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. We still get Rodney Michael na the program. Today we look at light issue na the country within some of the challenges them, and also how for solve some of them challenges here. So and it come up from the private sector. We in a MCO Limited, we in an energy supplier. And you earlier, before we been left you talk about the investment climate, you talk about the private sector involvement in the energy sector. And when the minister they talk, most of the names that we call are private sectors, they come and work with them. For you as independent power producer, you think say the climate favorable for private investment in the energy sector?
I think it can be better. I think it should be better, and it ought to be better.
Is it better now?
No, it's not. It should be. That's what I'm saying. It should be. There needs to be a few policy changes for entice private investment. I think if government encourage more private investment for coming, you see, the problem is not about investing. The problem is about securing the repayment. You invest $60-80 million, build a 30-40 megawatt solar plant, for example. You supply EDSA. The fear is that when you supply EDSA with all the debt subsidiary, and EDSA doesn't pay, these investors want to come in with a reliable system wherein they get paid. So the policy of government has to find a way for guarantee them repayment. So if somebody can invest in $80 million, it should be able to recover in payments for the power supply. Take the toll road, for example, the Chinese. They invest in the roads because they know so they get a toll bridge. Now they collect the money. Then they get their payments on time. Take the guys at the airport, for example, the Turkish. They know that they're collecting their monies from every passenger traveling. It's the same with energy. If you want the private sector, the international investors for coming and invest $60-80 million and build a 20, 30, 40 megawatt plant here and there, they want to be protected. And this is why, as a radical, I've always advocated that we need to do two things. I know it's not very common in Africa because of the politicization of the essential services, but we need to, first of all, do two things. One, zone the country. Western area, for example, zone it into parts of Freetown. Get suppliers for coming, build a power plant. Let them provide their own mechanism for supply and collection of revenue, and pay EDSA their own dues. If Mino said he can't take, for example, the west end of Freetown, Godrich, all the way to Regent, to Lumley, to the Beach Road, to Spur Road, Wilkinson Road, and I put a 50 megawatt plant there, and I connect to the grid, and I find a way of producing the meters, and you buy light directly from me, and I'm collecting that money for my investment, it makes my investment worthwhile. But if I come and supply EDSA in the grid, and I wait for EDSA for collect and pay me, and then I have the same problem Car Power has, the Guineans have, CLSG has, then it's a bad investment as a private sector. In the UK, for example, there are over 20 power providers. In Cambridge, where I have a second home because of a Piccadilly study day, and we frequently go on holidays there, we had a choice of the 6 major companies, and we went with E.ON. So if this kind of service is available for Sierra Leone as a country, as a case study, wherein you have 3 or 4 different options, if we could develop that, it takes the burden away from government for collect the revenue and pay the suppliers. And they will just be collecting their own percentage, which can then help to repay all these debts where EDSA don't incur.
But if you talk about that also, then go ask you, then go tell you about who that they connect or who that they put the infrastructure where you get for use for distribute this energy.
That's part of the negotiation. That's part of the negotiation.
You mean the private?
It could be anyway. You could ask the private sector. There's a private power plant in Moritown done by IPCS, wherein private companies are connected. The minute EDSA go off, you get connected, and you pay to them the dues, and you pay to them what you consume on their meters, right? That's a private process. It's very expensive. It's not for the average person like you and me. It's more for businesses as an emergency, right? It's that kind of thing we're talking about. If it can happen anywhere in other parts of the world, it can happen in Sierra Leone. Now, let's get this straight. EDSA's tariff is not low. It's about, if my memory serves me, it's about 6.8 leones per kilowatt hour. That's about 28 cents per kilowatt hour. What you and I pay average is about 28 cents per kilowatt hour. The power plant in Newton that has been built, the 30 megawatts, if I'm right on my research, they'll be charging government less than 13 cents a kilowatt hour. So with those kind of power plants, EDSA charging you and me 28 cents and collecting and paying 13 cents or less. And I understand the CLSG is also about that, Guinea is also about that. They will be profiting if they can collect all the monies from the consumers. You see, there is 2 aspects to power supply. EDSA receives X amount of power and supplies that X amount of power. They must be able to collect that X amount of power they supply. So if EDSA receives 100 megawatt or 80 megawatt of power, and they supply 80 megawatts, 2 things has to happen. The 80 megawatts they supply must reach the consumers, and the collection of 80 megawatts of tariff payment must be received by EDSA. That is where the problems are. The first problem is accounting for the power supply to EDSA. They must, and I'm sorry to say this, in the past that when I was actively involved in research, EDSA did not have a mechanism to be sure of the power they were receiving. Because the source of receipt, there must be a meter there that EDSA can see, this is what we have received. For example, Car Power or any other power plant. Coming to that port, to the grid, we have received this. This is what we have disbursed to the consumers. So we must be able to collect what we have received from the consumers. That has not happened. It is not happening, and must happen for EDSA to be able to maintain and sustain its status and pay the bills. Right. Now let's say you receive 80 megawatts and you supply 80, but because of connection problems, because of 1 or 2 other issues, and you only supply 40 megawatts out or 50 megawatts out, you're already losing 30 megawatts. you've received the 80. Secondly, if you supply 50 or 60 megawatts, but when you're collecting, what you account for in collection from power from sales is less than that 50 or 60 megawatts you supplied, you are in a deficit. This is not the politicians you have to blame. This is not the policy you have to blame. You have to go into a forensic investigation. Why the shortage? What is causing the shortage? How to avoid the shortage? And this is why when the Honorable Minister says that the President is encouraging the Ministry and EDSA to privatize sectors of EDSA, this is the essential and the benefit of privatization. Because their focus will be how to ensure that the power supplied out, the revenue that is supposed to come in is collected, and the power received is actually the power supplied to EDSA for disbursement.
All right. That through your explanation, it should clearly say EDSA lack the capacity for do the work. I mean, as you explained, they're not able to know some of the things they're waiting to do.
Capacity as in human resource, or capacity as in equipment?
For equipment, collect money and other things.
I believe the chairman of the board, Mr. Andrew Kiley, was in a sister radio with me once, Epic Radio, and he emphasized that some of the equipments they're using are very old and unreliable. I hope I'm not misquoting him, but I was in that same program with him. So it is true that we've had to invest in equipment, but in defense of the Ministry of Energy and EDSA, and with support from the World Bank and other international, they have been improving this equipment. Yeah. Let's get something straight here. The power network in Sierra Leone was designed pre-1961, before 1961. The lifespan of these power systems are supposed to be 35, 40, maybe 50 years at most. We're now talking of over 70, 80 years. So what EDSA has been doing is actually managing a dead system. Okay. And that is why we needed the funding to bring in a new technology, a modern technology. What existed in the pre-1960s cannot be applicable in 2020s. And until we are able to raise this money in energy, and let me divert a bit, the same problem with water resources. What we have been used to is what was in existence 70 years ago. We need to find the funding. We need to invest in energy and water and essential services. We need to modernize the networks to be able to start pointing fingers. To say we don't have the human resource, we have exceptionally talented experts in the Ministry of Energy, EGTC, EDSA. They can do the job effectively. What we have not been able to do for 70 years, and we've allowed it to accumulate, an accumulation of challenges and problems, and we want it resolved overnight, is to invest and upgrade and develop the network and the systems to a modernized state. Now tell me, where are we going to get $150, $200 million to do an entire overhaul of the entire network? Okay. We were dreaming of the MCC. Only God knows what's happening with that MCC. The same with Guma, with water. I'm diverted because it's essential services. Guma needs $150 million to bring our water network in the western area to the advanced state. Where can we get that kind of grant? Because if it's a loan, it will be a very big burden for government to absorb that loan. So this is where we are getting the problems. It's not only, it's good for you and me to sit down. Oh, the minister is useless. Oh, EDSA are incapable. Yes, it's easy. Words come free. You don't pay for it. But the truth is we're dealing with a 70-year-old problem.
Okay. Continue for the way to inside the program. I'm Rodney Michael. We take the first set of messages. This one says, Mr. Minister, I like you, but to be honest, we in the east part of Freetown are suffering for electricity.
I think this one from Omaru Bundu, they say, Mr. Minister, I like you, but okay. The same is the government needs to enforce laws governing water waste. People are lawless. If possible, let us bring back the sanitary inspectors by going compound to compound. Okay, that nice story we'll do on sanitation.
This one from Moses Kamara, I say, Mr. Minister, even before the press release, we, the people of Yams Farm and its environment, have been permanently living in dark. So the press release is not for us. And also, even when you mention about the car power ship being asked to add their power to 60 megawatt, we are still living in the dark.
This one from El Chuks McFoy. They say, "Good morning, Radio Democracy. FM 98.1 FM is car power ship still in operation. Sir, we are tired of too much explanation more over the small light which is coming to goes for the west and western part of Freetown. Let me ask one important question." He say, "What is wrong with the eastern part of Freetown, starting from Upcount onwards?"
This one again from Emmanuel. They say it's good to know that Mr. Michael is working around the energy sector. You're a universal guy. I just want to know what's the price of your tariff.
This one from Paul Jawad. He say, "Mr. Minister, we the people of Rokel, we are asking what crime have we committed against this country that the government is refusing to provide us with electricity?"
All right, Mr. Minister, these are the first set of messages then we get inside the program.
Thank you for the comments, Andy. But before I talk anything, I want Mr. Michael, very passionate, and he has a lot of information about the sector. I want to correct the issue. Then the average tariff where they talk about for 28 cents. Then are then large company them. Now then they pay 28 cents. The tariff, the 28 American cents. Where they talk cents now, American cents now they talk about. Then are like then 67 leons per kilowatt hour. We get a social tariff where anybody, all man, they pay between 0 and 25 kilowatt hours. They pay 9 American cents. So it ranges from between 20 American cents to the 28 cents. So it's not altogether accurate that average all man they pay 28 American cents. And not to the highest in the region. Liberia, then they pay past we. Liberia, then they pay about 30 cents right now on average for the tariff. And other countries are paying a little higher. Also, I like the idea we bring about trying to cut up Freetown into zones, but it's too fragmented. One thing we'll get for realize, Sierra Leone is a very small country, and Freetown is a small city. You can't even compare Freetown to Lagos or to Accra. And Accra, they not ever broke up the distribution network or the generation into segments, make all man can begin build generation plant and this and that. No, that ain't not the work. Even in London, even if you have two options, it's a one system, and it's a very different system where they employ for let you go able to buy you power from different service providers. So let's get our system right. Sierra Leone and Freetown, Sierra Leone is small enough where we were able to privatize and get the system much more efficient with the private sector and move on. He say, in all believe, say MCC they come. I would like for make all man know say MCC.
No, he
say no side.
No,
MCC day. I mean, this is one of the things that people let me say they don't know it in if lights they come up boom on ourselves. But MCC, we're very lucky in that we the government produced a very sound document, and then when MCC was in hiatus, when the American government was reviewing their internal policies, we were then selected to go ahead. We did go ahead with the MCC. The MCA, in fact, this week, the MCA will be launching their head office. They don't appoint a CEO. They don't appoint several lead members of the MCA in Sierra Leone. And that program is going to get started. The $400 million is going to get invested over the next 7 years. Into transmission, into distribution. So that is ongoing. I don't talk about the tariff size. I don't talk about the thing about where you talk, say, the system is old. No, it is old. Yes, that's a misconception. The system we're going to Freetown especially, over the last 6 years, there was a lot of money, about $100 million more, pumped into the system to build additional substations that we will get in Freetown. I think we have about 16 substations there now, brand new substations. Some of them have been, we don't renovate them. The transmission, the network in Freetown from substation to substation is brand new, running at 33 kV. So that's a misconception. Also, we get the problem now below that transmission. We know say that the issues the way the transformer them where they go from street to street or from substation to houses. That they the problem then we know say beaucoup people then they per meter when the wrong meter then get. We know say some businesses, institutions then they per meter when a residential meter then get. So all of that they are the problem we will get for really clean up, and where the private sector with then kind side will spend some time for cleanup. We therefore rebuild that system below the distribution network system from scratch because it is broken. We need for transform EDSA, we need for change the narrative by EDSA, by the workman then with the EDSA, for let them be a lot more efficient, and then they go be.
Lot of cries now the eastern parts now Freetown
Yes.
and Rokel.
Yes.
A lot of concerns about energy issues. Western go better than go get sometimes, but Eastern then they cry a lot. What thing that happened to Eastern?
Now, because of the lack of power, where I tell you, so we right now we're working on less than the 30 megawatts we lost from CLST Node, and we try for at least save as much as we can to the entire network. And in fact, Saturday will be emphasized and send most of the power go initially to the east, and I shall say people in those communities were able to receive power. Not to all man, but a lot of people in the east were able to receive power where we send go Saturday and yesterday back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we look at the Kapawa ship. Government being extend then contracts for 1 year and then they almost they wrap up. We therefore see government renew agreement with EDSA again or
with Kapawa.
With Kapawa, I beg your pardon. With
then the way they
Kapawa
look at it, depending. I mean, we not forget to say right now as we don't talk. They conclude the respite project where they will provide with 30 megawatts Newton. We also they build the NANT, not so we they build them, but an IPP they build the NANT project, and at Kisi we will give you 108, but then in our first quarter 2027. So we therefore look at the combination of them two plants and they waiting will happen at the end of the year for make sure say we go get capacity and we will get redundancy just in case something fail. Then they go tell we whether or not we get for extend car power for make sure say we at least get something for cover we light go.
When
so between June this year and June next year we get for do that analysis which we do right now for see if it's necessary for extend them or if we based upon the availability of power at daytime and nighttime, whether or not we can, as a country, go ahead.
When the extension they done?
June, the end of June. The end of June, 30th of June is when the current contract for done.
I mean this year.
This year, yes.
Is it possibility? They see the possibility, say, this project then
it's possible. I know they can make bluff now and say, no, with the end car power. No, listen. If we end car power, if I say, okay, with the end car power today, then we go December. Then we get delay pan one of the project that we will rely on. What you go say? The one of Freetown will get light. What you go say? So we have to be very prudent, not making rash decisions. We have to look at it. It's going to be an expensive decision. There's no question about it. But we have to make sure that we are protecting ourselves as citizens and make sure that we're protecting our country rather than make some decision. Kappa for go with autumn. Then December now we say, hey, now God say, let be. That should not be. We should plan and make sure that we are being very prudent going ahead for protect ourselves in the future.
Continue for the waiting inside the program, Mr. Minister. Rodney, you get message with somebody saying they ask for your tariff within the price, or
well,
you said.
The standard cost of a diesel generating plant is around 29 cents per kilowatt hour if we supply power to EDSA. So it's not.
Now that they don't reach 35 cents.
Yeah, now with the new,
no, don't pass that day.
You see, one thing with power generation, the same problem NANT will be facing. Anything you need to import fuel to supply power, and then there is a problem like there is in Iran. If NANT, for example, was supplying at X cent, you have to add the cost because they're going to rely on gas from predominantly the US, etc. So with this kind of war crisis, it affects the small nations that have no business there, like Sierra Leone, will be suffering because you're importing. So diesel generating plants will now cost about 33 cents. The minister is right, maybe more. Unless you go big, Dangote for you cheap. So I'm giving you the tariff not under normal circumstances, but now that will increase to about 33 to 35 cents easily. I want to thank the minister for justifying what I said. Even after spending $100 million for improve the system with the substations and everything, he is admitting that they still have challenges, which means I was right about the crisis with the old system, that they've upgraded it, they've improved it, they've built new substations, but they still face challenges from the substation, the underground part of things, and the equipments to deal with those underground things, etc. I also want for clarify the issue of MCC when I say no side, and the minister has clarified MCC is a 7-year project, so you cannot rely on the funding of MCC for tomorrow, for example, because I've heard people say, oh, MCC, they can't give $400 million, would it build brand new? No, it doesn't work like that. The MCC funding is a phase over, and thank God the minister has clarified over 7 years. And let us commend the government. They've been able to achieve what no government has achieved before them after so many attempts. So for them for getting to that system and get that approval, we praise government for that. They've done an exceptional job. Okay. The other thing where we get for look at, and I'm happy the reassurance the minister has given us that they will ensure that EDSA reforms, the mindset reforms, the changes take place. If EDSA is able to collect more revenue than they are paying out over a period of time, they'll be raising money to repay these debts.
Rodney will come back. We look at EDSA reform purely. We go now studio 2, we say one member na the Energy Committee na Parliament, Honorable Musa Fofana, they call on EDSA for buy better and advanced meter system where go tap the way people live light. Make this call, we even talk about some pan the reason them we make pass mark blackout the country. Honorable Musa Fofana talk more to the reporter Alassane Bangura inside this interview.
This being term, the electricity sector na Salon don't they face serious challenge. We say pasmak blackout don't they unbog the livelihood of people them na different community them na the country and Freetown na one side. We don't they suffer serious blackout na the country. We make ready democracy been talk to some people them, but waiting na the impact where the blackout don't cause na the life of people them na the country.
This issue now something we don't be problem for over 50-60 years now. Just imagine 65 years of independence, still the same one in one out of light. Not even only then side and they backward and they get deprived for the light facility. So really government need for do something. So if lights not different atrocity then go they happen. So as a result of that, so they call on government, let them see how best then cable help we now. This now 65-year issue, law push party, law push everything.
But Kumani survivor not to run the light. The light not they go for almost months now. The alternative if you not get one day the past 2 weeks or 3 weeks before you think about light. And they are not good for the people that right now. So they ask government for like take a practice action for the light to the people because they Bokuma able for survive. Now you go to television at 10,000 euros for charge phone, power bank 30 euros. So this not the way the money people there. So like government, no, what's not the problem we light not it.
But waiting at some of the challenge them, we don't they unbog the energy sector. Ready democracy been also talked to one honorable member where they represent Kono District in the Parliament. Honorable Musa Fofana explained.
A lot of things they boil right now around energy. EGTC go tell you say they supply the fire, and EDSA will for sell the fire and pay back to EGTC and government. Challenge they in that particular chain. Big companies and EDSA also need to be sincere to this country because me as an ordinary person I also get just a freezer and a television. No go even use on 3 units of light per day or maybe day and night. But production companies, big manufacturing companies, they use huge electricity and waiting and they use them for pay. But we don't see industrial meters where installed now virtually all them big institutions where they run production. Trust me, there are a lot of challenge. And then challenge here now in EDSA in particular need for really stand firm for proof to this country say not only government they play in your part, even then when are the authorities where they regulate for also play their own part. I don't then are the oversight and we don't work out with technical people, very professional people where they tell we about if this cable for use 10 megawatts for pass by this cable and this cable they receive 15 megawatts, the 5 megawatt now loss. So then tell we some of them challenge them we need EDSA because now then they receive now then they sell. We need them for let them look into capacity building. We they look to them for let them really see the best meters them where them will use now this country for both industrial household meters where nobody no go able for tamper with because there are meters these people will tell you say this meter na tampered meter but not to make tamper now the person we can fix them now he make the meter they so a buy top up you know they go.
It continue for talk about the work where parliaments they do for address the electricity challenge na the country.
Energy from 2018 to now we don't see a lot of strive with government on me but I think waiting they happen at Freetown right now is unprecedented purely in the eastern part of Freetown and I want to assure this media I don't dey usai the chairman of energy current Honorable Momo Bokari don't engage with all as members of of Parliament for let we do on the spot check on energy issues. We self they can go around and see from the big companies, the medium companies, and in fact household, how would they use the light? If would they use light illegally or they use light legally? As Liberal member of Parliament, I want for tell you say Parliament they do everything possible for investigate within the happen within the energy sector, and this report will come out and a report will be laid at the well of Parliament for debate.
Honorable Musa Fofana end up say electricity na key driver for push development business na the country, and assure the public say Parliament Kotimak Tikanga one for address the challenge them where the energy sector they face na the country. For the Society for Ready Democracy, Mina Alassane Bangura, the report.
We take some concern them from different people and attend them the minister while inside the studios. Now we're gonna Makeni outside some people now Makeni and Bo don't call on government for address the light challenge within the face. Now that part of the country they as then say because of bad light we EDSA don't they give them make them property then the poor. Then people are talk more to Ready Democracy inside this interview.
Well, this lights business, Makeni, the way how they experience the lights for now, like especially we now businessman them, they affect we a lot. Cause whenever we buy load, we bring load na the store. When there is no lights, we can always experience downfall of the sales. Because when lights, they get much sales, then would they earn more profit. The way they see the lights, you can always able to charge you for them. You know they get much. The way we just get for appeal to the government, if they're able to put much pressure towards the EDSA department so that they go able afford for we much lights, we go make we able push your business go before.
The lights they come, let me say now AC they use now rising and falling. Let's get a rising and falling of current to constant. It affects my business mostly with the customer that they come the report we say they don't get much lights for freeze there and drinks there for sale. We go appeal there for let them give we reasonable lights will go make we get comfort for our business kick up.
The main problem with lights business na bo I go say na bo no who sell lights go dey bo no who sell lights no dey. Lights can dey but they come and go at any time. And EDSA no one day take time for tell people they say now this time when lights can go or they do shedding. No, they never announce that they do load shedding. So like though as somebody very inquisitive, like one time I will observe say lights can dey sometimes dong New London or lights not the dong day. Then I go up, say what good for go say Eastern Police now, go there and talk with town. Yeah. Go there and get them up highway. Shelmingo, I can see say lights there or lights not there. So no more. So it's like sometimes they can shed, but no one there announce that. I go say epileptic, they just come and go at any time. Yeah.
Well, I can say the light system like Bama is so very poor. Lights they come frequently. This one down they affect your business them, you see, because we get freezer, ginger they cold, water they cold, and they all not hold to we. And they will strain strain for lights business now. The lights sometimes it's so dull for put freezer on being no go able. Neither for put fan on. The lights them back not to all ball the check. Are they big on the government and EDSA for me they could help we more get constant lights. They smell like this rain is easier, please.
Yeah, the light system in Mona. Sometimes it can like this rain season, we not can get light only. The light business the Mona. So we go and charge phone. Because some people then they want make business like ginger, like you want cooler, then we get the lights not they come, for let they do the business. And let they go they give the light fast.
Alright. Mr. Minister, you don't really concern for me people Yeah, then
Bo. I mean, I think people, I think the perception is that Makeni and Bo then get light. Makeni, in fact, because they near Bumbuna, then they get lights 24 hours. So the same thing with Bo and Kenema back, because they're connected to the CLSG. But the issue where you see so right now, because the demand in both then song then they don't go quite high. Makeni, because of the configuration, the lights where they come out Bumbuna, they go to Makeni before you can free some. But I think we give them an average of 6 megawatts. 4 to 6 megawatts. The problem with the Makeni is that the transformer at Makeni, the capacity cannot go beyond, I think, 4.5. So we even strain the transformer day. So we therefore increase the capacity of the transformer and increase the supply to McKinney at the same time. So all engine and in a work in progress. The 1L system, we therefore address the system in terms of the power demand, in terms of the suppressed power demand, because suppressed power demand, they all say. McKinney, Bo, Kenema, free tongue not for talk. People in the way wants power, they don't get power, they don't get adequate power. The issue of whether you can see in a bad light, then there are two conditions. And another one put blame all side. It can be say the electrician we wire yours use the wrong wire. Then if you go investigate, most of the time the wrong wire. Then they go spend little money, then buy wire, then wire all thing. The wire where they use for light and the wire where they use for socket is different. So if you not do that day, when the electricity go on the wire and it's too small, it warm. As it warms, so it melts the plastic. Then anything where they near now, they catch fire. So those are the kind of issues. Your consumer unit supposed to give you adequate protection. If the fuse then whether they correct based upon if na light circuit or if na socket circuit or if na water heater circuit or if some man get electric cooker, but not so much. Okay. All of them thing and if not properly configure, no problem.
Okay, before we look at messages they make you left at the studio, what is the status of EDSA privatization?
And we are very close. We don't negotiate. We don't get about 4 meetings. We don't get about 4 meetings with the private sector. We don't discuss the issues. We don't discuss the issues. We discuss the issues of the transition of people in EDSA. We don't discuss the issues of projects. We don't discuss the issue of funding by MCC, World Bank during the time. We don't discuss the terms of the privatization, which we now say in about 15 years. So we're very close, and we want to conclude the negotiation deal that we sign as soon as possible.
Now, which company they can take over?
It's a company from Uganda. It's called Umeme. Umeme don't transform the Uganda utility, the Uganda system over the last 25 years. If you go look, una Google them, una go see say, Umeme, the size where them in there 25 years ago, now the same size salon been there, even worse self. Then come in, then transform the 1L system, they transform the utility from losing money to a multi-million-dollar system where they even provide money to government.
Now, it will be the NPA, National Power Authority,
yes.
They say privatize to EDSA. Now you talk about
transform
to EDSA.
Correction. When we began NPA, it was written and called vertically integrated. That means the generation and the transmission and the distribution, all the one side. Waiting we do in 2011, waiting government do in 2011, they decided say for bring private sector currency into the generation space, now for unbundle. So they unbundle the transmission, generation transmission, and then the distribution from each other. So then create space now for the private sector, not just government, go provide generation. Then create that space and regulation for the IPP then go can provide generation to the system.
How this privatization get for work and how effective it will be?
This now a concession of EDSA. The concession, all the EDSA operations, so revenue collection, operations, all things to them over a course of 15 years. I mean, they give them 2 years, what we call a mobilization period, where then go find out more about the system, then go invest money, then go use money where government gets through MCC, through World Bank, and modernize the system and make the system more efficient and really change the narrative going forward. That's so we structure them.
All right, quickly as you can go, we understand so government owe the car power shift about 24 months.
No.
How much months
they owe car power shift now probably about 4 months. I mean, we negotiate with them some areas within there prior to, I think, November 2024. Government, the Ministry of Finance, they pay over time. So there's already an agreement with government, they pay that areas the way they mean ring fence. So then they pay that day. Right now, all the current money, now EDSA, they pay that they going forward. So EDSA is in areas as well, but then they pay on small as we they go.
What in the data they show in terms of ministry, department, and agency, them we owe EDSA?
Quite a number, and we dey go through them one by one. We dey go meet all the PSs. We dey talk to the Minister of Finance for let them come up with a new system, perhaps in terms of how the money they come into each of these ministries and departments, and come up with this. In the number one thing what they do now, we dey go put prepaid meter for all ministries and departments. For all man go get for just like how you self then you use. We money done at the meter, you go get for top up. That time they will not go for the chase after people them with government institutions we don't accumulate areas for so long.
They look at messages quick before we left in the studio. The first one from this one they come up from Mohammed Kisma Sumari. He says Easton Kingston Town, no light for 2 months, transformer cable, all then don't thief.
This one from Ibrahim Sise, a resident of Orphanage Drive, Kamayama, are deeply alarmed by the continuous daily switching of the transformer by some EDSA worker. Repeated fire incident linked to unstable electricity, including the recent transformer sparked, followed by another fire outbreak, have created serious fear in the community. We urgently appeal to the Minister of Energy immediately inspect the transformer, clarify the ongoing activity by the EDSA workers.
This one with 0779819819 line, he said the analysis of Rodin Michael is so great. We need to start solving these problems from its root causes, not just the symptoms from Bash the Don na Aberdeen.
This one from YouTube page is from Abdul Fona. He say honestly, the amount of money the past and present government has spent on car power, why can't we just go and buy one?
This one say is the peninsula, especially after Bawao into Tombo, not part of our plan of a plan at EDSA. We have all the hotels and resorts, yet still EDSA is failing to grab such business opportunities.
This one from Tunde Scott is one thing we should make very clear is that we are experiencing serious blackout right now because the government is unable to pay car power ship to supply 24-hour in Freetown because they have the capacity to do that.
This one say Moiba and PWD would call on the attention of EDSA for far too long. We need to get lights.
This one say for Mystic Nado Azak, he says some government, ministry, department, and agency are deliberately crippling EDSA and Guma through their continuous failure to pay utility bill, which is deliberate, not to talk about free electricity supply.
This one
the
from
barracks, which are major ice block selling centers, worsen the burden on EDSA. Mr. Minister, you need to watch the barracks them.
This one from Abubakar, he says, Koso Town done the 1 month without lights. After 5 p.m., no EDSA for a whole month. What a shame, EDSA.
Mr. Minister, if we dey, I will go there because people concerned. Then somebody did send message say Wellington, they know they get light.
They know they get light. It depends on who side of Wellington. I mean, not to all sides. Some partner Wellington they get light. But as if I did today, they can call one all day, yeah. And I apologize. And the problems there are many. I mean, they talk about Moriba Town, they talk about Duazak, they talk about PWD. Then talk. I go get for address the thing where somebody talk about the peninsula. The peninsula right now, the line where they come out Godrich, it reach Sussex. We don't get a project through the Japanese government, JICA. JICA, they bring in a new line from Godrich, they run all the way to Tombo, where they can connect to a new substation we're going to Benguima eventually. So we not forget the peninsula. Boku Ostende on that side. And in fact, there's another project that's being built right now. We then for do groundbreaking very soon. An Innovent, which is a solar project of 20 megawatts, within the build right behind the Benguima back. So that side, we will not forget that side. Then go get connectivity through the JICA line, where the 33 kV line where they come. And they get substation at Tombo, they get the substation at Sussex, they reach Godrich. So we'll not forget that side here. The transformer sparks, and the one thing we then talk, I'm glad you didn't mention Andy, then say then thief transformer and cables. Now one of the biggest things we face right now, this theft of transformer and cables, you know. As you can go bill and so, or if light not this one side so. And in fact, self we know they give advance warning on this load shedding. Because if man they know say some side they load shed, Then they wait in the net, then go strip the cable them, then go thief transformer them. But we decide this year, especially in the western area, for GE load shedding plan. It has been relatively successful and a little bit consistent, but we try for make sure say people know when they load shedding. I read a man and McKinney say, they know side they load shed and McKinney, so if we do better job at that. But the theft tool they get, not only cable and the thief, and then cable then they cost me boku money, thousands and thousands of dollars. Then the thief meter, then the thief cable, then the cut cable, and then the thief transformer. All of these are investments that are being lost by EDSA. But we hope say the concessionaire will they come and the mindset of the people, not only the EDSA workers, the mindset of Sierra Leoneans will they benefit from all the investment here will change. Let this country go better going into the future.
Yeah, plenty thank you for we join. We hope you and EDSA management they go through the messages there because hundreds of messages now.
Forward them to we.
Now we Facebook page, now we 07798198119, our WhatsApp line, and our YouTube page. Lot of messages and concerns then. If you go through that, you go good. As you left with now the studio, the work of energy minister, you think is the most difficult for now?
The work of the energy minister.
Yes.
It is work.
Is it
I mean, if work, now then make them call it work. I mean, it has to have some level of, they can begin, not to holiday day, not to vacation day. We come for serve the country and for make sure say we get solutions going forward.
So somebody can say when you come, you don't give me blackouts.
I hear that thing then they say me the grant blackout. Yeah. Yes, I mean, unfortunately, in the last 6 months, it's been very difficult. There's no question about it. But me, they see through the efforts by His Excellency, through the efforts by government, say it's not all gloom and gloomy. The picture is very bright at the end. We are going to make progress. We are going to change the narrative. As I say, the project that they do, they come online next month, Newton. The NANT project will come online next year. We get this project that Kamakwe, Incept the car online, the Innovent project, the 20 megawatt the car online. All of them here so they point in the right direction, say we are actually going to make a difference very, very shortly.
Plenty thank you for joining inside the program. We hope say from time to time they come, let will not get gap between the ministry and the people, and because when you talk to them, some man can be ease because it will see a way forward.
I understand. I wish I can do another 2 hours for answer question, but unfortunately.
So we suggest that if I can buy EDSA.
No, Dandy, I will make that. I will talk to EDSA. We'll get an EDSA hour here. Radio Democracy is one of the premier radio stations, and we'll make sure say we conduct EDSA hour where we'll be able to talk to the people and tell them developments and take questions and be able to communicate very clearly so that boku kongosa and that boku incorrect information no go dey flow na the system for give bad name.
Thank you very much for joining the program. Rodin, quick one.
I want to touch on something where you touch about Innovent. Innovent is not only doing the 20 megawatts, and they plan for go all over the provinces and build small solar power plants all over. They're looking at 7 megawatts in Bo, 6 megawatts in Kenima. This is their ambition, forget power plants everywhere. If that happens, it reduces the burden heavily on purchasing from external sources when they succeed with that. So I hope you, Minister, don't mention the 20 megawatts at the back of Benguema and all these efforts. I think with time it will get better.
Rodney, we'll come back to you. We just want to inform we listeners and viewers say we don't extend Radio Democracy Good Morning Salon time to 2 hours starting today. We don't add more 30 minutes for get a longer discussions and also able to text messages the moon at the same inside the program. We'll go for Wakabo to come with John Rodney Michael as we other studio guest, the Minister of Energy, they left in the studio.
Anoja monye again, ate monje mai, ate monje, ate oya. Ate every day at the talk Lumbly don't get PhD on dirty and lawlessness. Yesterday Sunday, I go around for exercise. If you see Lumbly, dirty pack leg, where them pack Jones Bill. The roundabout na so dirty pack the place they smell. You go up by the church for go up I don't know that place there. Na so dirty pack back in the smell. You pass around the street na so dirty pack back the smell. I want for ask Auntie Mayor. For say una no dey see them dirty dem dey. At the map around the observe, at the market woman that they pull money, now then they pay people for bury the dirty and go to where. And you know say them but they will take that thing. Wait see them take that dirty they go turn and back other side. Again. IG Willow, I just want to elect for IG Willow. A time conscious. Every blessed day, 6 o'clock or 6:30, you must meet up IG Willow, the commoner in Oats for can work. Now this they call leader. Not to the other minister, then we go me don't say 8 o'clock then for meeting our office. So man now they go then 9, then 10 o'clock. But no cup go full up one day. But IG Willow, you know say you're not disciplined man, but you are talk to your officer them. Lumbly, the lawlessness boku, the one the way the cello, the bike man the PPSL party, yesterday you watch na social media, and the see that girl with the CPA party at the army bar away, and member of parliament. Now you wonder, why PPSL party chef not get woman with vibrant like anti-army? I mean now on the 30% quota and we defend out say una with the vote for 30% quota na parliament chef uno no reach again. Ati we want 40 more women them like anti-army. PPSL patuna say no go produce somebody. When chef go be like anti-army, let them two go they set blows, not for fet manual you, but for debate issue them. Ati God. God they on board, God the elector. They say God they go give at the elector on governance. At the about the democracy about waiting at the. You get your own fix and fine. Now other people that you will talk to, democratic but anyway, that left that talk about it make a member fighting hands off our girl to hands off our girls alpha. I don't say I remember you. Finally, Uncle Grant don't talk, Uncle Grant don't talk. Uncle Grant, I do sir. How do picking the how the black house? I if you way you didn't have solar you get. Uncle Grant, we don't be you too much. God put you in that idea for let you solve the problem. But not too bad though. If I want them for the talk to you, I don't know if not the system, but from where you come, the blackout, not grantedly. Me not the honorable Pikiwa Kabot.
To come to Rodney Michael. Rodney, you don't follow the discussions them with the energy minister. You don't make mention of projects them, challenges them, and who side and they. What do you make up of all this? Because when you explain energy issues, people get sometimes say, oh, we don't tire with this, we want for say action.
Well, like I said during the statement, not everything I agree with the policies of the government, and it's in relation to power generation. I think they're able for open them up more and entice more investment. But the good thing is that, for example, he mentioned Innovent. Innovent are going to build power plants all over the country, small scale solar power that are involved with the 20 megawatts, Benguema, etc. So these kind of small scale investments all over power generation means we're not going to depend more wholly and entirely on car power, CLSG, the Guinean supply. We get enough power supply domestically for address most of the country, if not all of the country. So these are the good things where they happen. Like I say, if we don't start this policy of enticing power generation within the country from the 60s, we'll get independence, we'll build million power plants, expand on retail available, modernize as we go along, invest in energy and other essential services, we're not going to in the day we do today. So this is an accumulation of problems over the last 7 decades. But I think they're trying to encourage more power generation, and then the way that forward. If we want to go forward, that's the way. But there are things that have to be done. And to be honest, this privatization of the Ugandan company, I've researched them well. They're very, very efficient.
So you believe in?
Well, they did very well in Uganda. And the CVTEL well. And the World Bank has been very supportive of the entire process. So I believe Sedengo can add a fresh impetus into the situation. But like everything, a transition doesn't happen overnight. Success is not measured overnight. They make that give them 15 years. They have to come, settle, do the transition, and effectively introduce the modalities.
What do you think, say, for B, then your mode of approach in terms of the staffing at EDSA, in terms of the how they handle matter? Because if you take like the same system, same everything, even privatization, people will say this problem they continue. What is your call to the private company who will take over EDSA?
I assume say that we don't do the research. I assume say that we don't come, they don't study, they get a local consultant who go down guide them. We know EDSA very well. I assume that they know side the flaws and they, otherwise they don't go rush into such an agreement. I assume that they're prepared because they have the capacity and experience for transform such systems. So I assume that they've done their homework well. They don't need me for guidance because this is not a one-day thing. This process has gone on for over a year now. Then we get them time for study, prepare them bid, submit them bid. I believe that they want to be able to meet the final phase of the bid. They qualify for it. Now they're negotiating. So I believe that they get access to EDSA for know where the problems are. Listen, human capacity in EDSA not to the problem. They are very smart and efficient workers at EDSA. The problem is the structures, the systems that is in existence. All they need for them for bringing a new system, we go resolve these issues. The honourable member of parliament talk about advanced metering. The EDSA not go able to do that now, but the new company coming in under privatization, and they assume say they go come in the next 48 months, maybe 24 months, even 2 years to 4 years. They went for transition from what we're using now to a smart meter like happens in other parts of the world. So I hope say they already done the homework and they're prepared for camp. I'm really optimistic that they're going to change EDSA for the better. I'm optimistic that they're going to do a very good job. And I'm optimistic because I believe say the World Bank is backing them to do well. And the World Bank don't put a lot of pressure on government for this privatization. And therefore, because of that, they want them to succeed. And the president, there is political will because the president himself is ready for that. And once there's political will, I think that this company coming in has everything playing for them to do very well.
Plenty people believe, say, in the issue of basic facility, we Sierra Leonean them for enjoy politics, they play around them facility there. Now it make it defend and difficult. You believe in that? Again,
this has always been the case in essential services. We always want for politicize them, for make things cheap for the public. No government able to subsidize energy, for example, in Africa at this time. The country is already subsidized energy. It's at a big burden on the budget, on the economy. And Sierra Leone is no different. So when you see the minister talks in finance get for pay, every time finance get for bailout EDSA with these payments, it affects the other sectors, education, health, salaries, etc., etc. So we need to find a system wherein that burden is shifted from government to consumers. And the only way this will happen, power generation at affordable cost, like what we don't do in Newton, 30 megawatts costing less than 13 cents per kilowatt hour. It allows EDSA for charge and make profit from that power supply. So the more power generation domestically at low cost go allow for the finance to get that burden, that headache. Because I'll be honest, if we enjoy 1 second of light today, now because of the hard work of the Ministry of Finance for always bail out EDSA, in January, if I'm not mistaken, they paid tens of millions of dollars in arrears to Car for them able to even enjoy light now. And the minister mentioned in June, Car Power, they go off, the contract, they end. I am 100% sure they get for renew that contract, at least for 1 more year. That is going to be burdened again on finance because it's going to accumulate on the debt. There are 2 phases of debt they let the public understand. The old debt, when they don't ring fence, finance only do very well, they reduce that debt drastically. The new debt, finance, they try all the time for pay some money. Yes, they owe a few months in arrears, but they're not allowed for accumulate like what will happen pre-2024. Okay. So you have to praise the Minister of Finance and the FS and the entire finance ministry that under very difficult circumstances, they don't try for control and manage the debt.
Continue for stay with me inside the program. Rodney Michael, independent power producer, come from MK Limited, winner energy supplier. The program Good Morning Salon will continue. We continue for look at more issues. We go to the Minister of Health. We said the Deputy Minister of Health, one Professor Charles Senesisi, the license we they don't give to allied health professionals them now for make them begin regulate and hold them accountable for the work we need to do in the well body sector. He talk this with the Minister of Health together with the allied health professionals council hold then forced induction and oath swearing ceremony for allied health professions them. Well, for more on this, we join Karifatu Conte.
Government to the Ministry of Health for the first time na salon don't begin give license to allied health professional them when a community health officer, public health professional, nutritionist, paramedics, and plenty other one them. For CISE, government begin regulate and hold them accountable for their work na the well body sector. And this specialized group of healthcare practitioners them make up of 60% of the healthcare workforce in the country. The Deputy Chief Medical Officer Clinical Services in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Mustafa Kaba, say this is part of government's commitment for CISE, then tap maternal and child deaths na salon.
Today we are not only simply witnessing an induction ceremony, we are witnessing the strengthening of a national promise. A promise that no mother should lose her life while giving birth. No child should die from preventable causes in this country. This occasion definitely marks a very historic milestone in the growth of our health system and in the professionalization of the allied health services in our country.
For make government achieve this, make inside 2022, then gets the Allied Health Professions Act, where this act gets provisions them for allied health professional them. Make the Deputy Clerk na Parliament, Gilbert Bosco Nabe, talk about some of the key provisions then at this act.
So I want to just drive your mind to some of the key provisions in this act. Part 2, sections 3, subsection 1 to 3 of the act is very clear, first of all, on its establishment and all of what is entailed. And then section 4 is also very clear on the setting up of critical structures related to the board, just so that we'll have a seamless implementation of the legislation. And so when I see today evidently the availability of these structures, and then us moving into the very maiden induction and oath swearing ceremony, it is uplifting, and I want to commend you all for that. I want to assure you that the Parliament of Sierra Leone will continue to stand with you, will continue to support where it is needed. Because I know that sections 12 of this legislation makes provision for funding, and that your principal source of funding is actually the appropriation that comes from Parliament of Sierra Leone. Be assured that Parliament will continue to play its role, that you have the needed resources to make, because you can't do anything without available resources. But we'll do everything we can to ensure that the provisions will be made available.
Strengthening allied health professions, regulations for zero preventable maternal and child deaths na salon. Now be the theme for the first induction and oath swearing ceremony for allied health profession them. Make the Deputy Minister of Health 1, Professor Charles Senesisi, the license where they don't give to allied health professions them, go make them begin regulate and hold them accountable for their work in the well body sector.
We are to celebrate the beginning of a new era of professionalism, accountability, and service in healthcare delivery across our nation. And I must say this, that we normally say to whom much is given, much is expected. Over the years, the doctors and nurses were always at the firing point. The allied health professionals, I see you are floating. But today, we are going to put your feet on the ground. We are going to hold you accountable. You are not licensed and respected people, which means it's not going to be business as usual. You are now deregulated, and upholding the regulation is going to be the normal rather than the exceptional.
But what this mean to them? The chairman for the allied health professions, Abu Conte, he explained.
I challenge all of us, do not see our license as a mere document. We have to see this license as a pledge to be the shield that stands between a mother and unnecessary complication, and a bridge that connects a child to a healthcare future. We expect nothing else less than absolute professionalism, zero tolerance for malpractice, and unyielding commitment to professional integrity.
Abu Conte end up tell thank you to the Ministry of Health and self-assure say they will do the right thing them. We will improve the country healthcare system for the democracy. Mina Kaifa to counter the report.
The program Good Morning Salon, they continue. We take another story. Inside the Minister of Internal Affairs, Mori Lengo, don't call on Salon people for report any stranger from other country them we they're not satisfied with to the immigration department and make this call and someone meet with stakeholder them na Bombali district and recommend at the immigration department we then go pull na the new immigration department service them na Bombali district. For more on this, make we join Alaji Jalo. Look at Defender Material Day. This one message say Rodney is saying the truth. I hope government will tap from his expertise. And this other one say from Joseph Josiah say, I know if private companies take over it will be expensive, but if it is sustainable, citizen will pay for it.
More messages them inside the program. This one they say okay, this message is more messages for the minister, but you know they are since we don't refer them to some of the NTR and then they call on the energy sector say for tapping to waiting Roddy Michael make mention of and the recommendation them we then don't make the energy space.
This one I go take from Fire Camera say explanation upon explanation from one government to another since John the Baptist started preaching about the coming of Christ. We still explaining the situation and the work without end.
Okay, as I say, more messages for the minister. Say, Mr. Minister, do you know that staff behind the grid are giving 24-hour light to their residents? Come to Kisi Road and see how lower end are enjoying 24-hour electricity while others are in dark. Well,
the last one I go take this one from Ibrahim. Say, Mr. Michael, what will be your recommendation for a sustainable electricity in Sierra Leone?
Two things I will address. The one about being expensive if private companies take over, Josiah is perfectly right. It will be more expensive but more reliable. And that's the most important thing. And nothing say consumers get a problem for pay for quality. If it's quality, if it's reliable, if it's efficient, if it's constant, then I think say we could be very happy for pay. I just been to give an example that in my own home, with I get a total consumption of about 30 kVA of power. If I use generating plant, I use every week nearly 14,000 units a week. If I use power 24/7 energy, I know we use 14,000 units per month. So I don't mind for pay the energy bill once it's constant and reliable and it can destroy my appliances and everything. So I'm glad that Josiah talked about it because we don't mind for pay as long as it's reliable and efficient. Recommendation, like I say, the most important thing is to build up the atmosphere for investment. Ensure that the people already invest in power plants and supply power to EDSA, then go able to get their tariff back. They'll get their money back, their charges. They don't just don't get debts and debts and debts. So if we get a private company taking over the sectors in EDSA and they're doing efficient revenue collection, they're able to pay these these power suppliers, these IPPs. More investors will come in, like how Innoveni do, like how they do the 30 megawatts and Util, like how other people like Nant plant, they go supply power. Remember, if Nant plant supply 108 megawatts, 30 megawatts Newton, 20 megawatts from Benguema. In the rains, Hydro Nabubuna supply up to 50 megawatts. You don't talk about over 200 megawatts around the country. More suppliers can come in. Once there's efficient collection, we're going to pay for these power providers and their bills. More people will come and invest. And before you know before you know what happen, you don't see 400-500 megawatts springing up everywhere. We will start for export power to Liberia and other countries. The most important thing is revenue collection for pay the debts. Once we pay, we know we get a problem for people invest in the power generation. But until we start for pay with debts for power supply, people will be skeptical for can invest 40, 50, 60. Power is money. There's a lot of money to be made in power. But unless you guarantee your revenue back, your payments, not to all man get mine for can invest that kind of money. Okay. And the World Bank not going able to give grant for all the power supplies. So we need to find a system in place where we go collect the revenue from the consumers, manage that revenue, pay the debts, so more investors will get money, can invest money in building more plants in the country.
Thank you very much, Rodney Michael, from the private sector, EMCO Energy Limited. We are independent suppliers for we join inside today's edition of the program Good Morning Saloon. Well, now this edition of the program go left for today. Plenty thank you to the Minister of Energy we've been joined with earlier, and also Rodney Michael. We are still with we at the studio. Plenty thank you to the production team. Saptiu Kalon, we produce the program. You know, Kabia, we support the production. Miri Kama Bangra, make una see live na Facebook page, and DJ Kiman give you technical support. Musa Saturday, Musa Kamara say bye bye.
My name is Usman Kama. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.